Yeah. Yo, Sunday and Mondays is lit. We hit the field, pads clashing, quarterback vision, throw deep with mad passion, defense pressing, they're blitzing like wolves. I'm juking through the line, there's pressure in these moves. It's 4th and inches, pod and long. The crowd is loud, we're bringing the storm. Hail Mary in the sky, let it fly, do or die. Touchdown dance, now the end zone's on fire. Welcome to Pod and Long, your weekly blitz of gridiron football fire.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pod and Long. I'm your host, Ryan. It's great to have you with us. I'm here once again with one of my co-hosts. It's the Word of Drew.
I understand that the Panthers have previously been eliminated from the playoffs.
What?
And I understand that now Buffalo has lost, and I understand that now San Francisco has lost. But we all know that of the 4 people on this panel, I am the most sad one today. And we all know why. And yes, it's because Carlos Beltran was elected into the Hall of Fame today.
Oh, boy.
Boo! My ideas on this subject are well known.
What was this thing you say about him?
Is his plaque just going to be a bat on a shoulder?
Yeah, that he could pull me out of a burning car and I would ask him why he didn't swing at 3-2 before I thanked him.
Pull me out of a burning car.
Don't be shocked if you see me this summer at either the Syracuse or Albany airport, whichever one he's going to fly into, specifically so I can boo him as he gets off the plane.
We're also here with Mr. Mike.
I, too, would also like to announce that I'm withdrawing my name from consideration for being a head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they could use you.
I'm taking my name out of consideration.
Get out of there. We're also go ahead.
Did you see there is some shit talking already happening in the NFC South?
Oh, yes. I love it. Delicious.
Baker go bake.
Go for it, Baker. He's right. Baker's right. We'll talk about it. All right. We're also here with Mr. Megastar Mark, the ultimate sad boy.
For our
I have
audience who's not
opinions.
watching.
I have opinions.
The Sabres, they're going strong. Are the Sabres on a winning streak still?
Winning, yeah, they're winning 4-0 right now at Nashville. So,
Now, is Terry Pegula's logic, I fired the GM of the Sabres, so they're better. If I fire the coach of the Bills, they'll be better.
possibly.
I think that logic is stupid.
Maybe. Well, we need to jump right into it because we got a lot to break down. So let's do it.
In 2023, 4 friends were sentenced to watch bad football for crimes they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped, arguing over text message to the YouTube underground. Today, still growing their audience, they survive with silly voices and running gags. If you have an hour to kill, if you have nothing better to do, and if you can find them, maybe you can listen to the A Block.
Ah, yes, the A Block. It is time. We will be going over all of the playoff games, but we got to put some of our favorite teams to bed. So let's start. Let's go over Bills and Broncos. What happened in this game? Or do you want to just start with the aftermath? I'm not sure.
No, go ahead with the game because the game is important.
Let's go with the game first, and then we'll get to the aftermath. So the Broncos face the Bills. Josh Allen had 4 turnovers. They still looked like they were going to be in this. He fumbles at halftime. They still fight back. They end up getting some questionable calls. There's the interception in overtime, and then several pass interferences that lead to a Broncos field goal, and then the Broncos end up moving on. And I'm sure there's a lot more we can talk about in game, but the Bills then decide they're going to fire Sean McDermott at the end of that game. Pretty quick trigger finger there. It was almost like they had something ready to go. And now the Bills are looking for a head coach.
Okay, I'm going to take this off. All
right, go ahead.
All right, so going back to the game real quick. All right, the Bills put themselves in these horrible situations. Okay. And 4 turnovers is never going to win you a game, especially not a playoff game against a really tough opponent in Denver. So the Bills have no one to blame but themselves. I don't want to hear about the interception that was a catch or all that bullshit or the pass interference. What doesn't matter. None of that matters. It's the Bills put themselves in this situation. I do want to say about that the interception thing. I do think it was an interception.
Okay.
However, you can't then the next day not call that an interception. That's my problem. In the Packers game, right? There's no consistency. If you want to if you just want to make it all like that, that's fine. And I can even date it back to week 14 and week 17, where you had the Steelers and the Ravens. Steelers won the game on a play that was ruled as a catch. When if this was the officiating crew, would have ruled an interception. Yeah. So and that would have, if you reverse it, that would have made the Ravens the division winners. So just consistency. And that's something that the NFL has talked about forever with the refs. They need to be more consistent across the board.
They also did not review. They did not review the play either. That's one thing McDermott brought up.
And it's almost like you could solve this problem by paying referees to be professional referees instead of relying on leftovers every weekend. So the NFL could save 30 cents.
Yep. Going to the game, though. The bill, one thing that is not talked about with all this, and I get it because it's more interesting to talk about whether that was a catch or not, or those interference calls, and then obviously what happened with McDermott. The Bills were up by 4 points with 4 minutes to go, and they let the Broncos march 72 yards down the field and score again.
Yeah,
this has happened 9 straight years for Buffalo. Okay, I am of the opinion that they should have. When I felt that McDermott should have stayed, and I felt that the GM should have left because I felt like he did not. And there's no even if he did a horrible job this year getting players for McDermott to make it to the Super Bowl. He just failed.
Well, and Mark, I'm going to interject here for a second. If the rumors are to be believed, McDermott told both Pagula and the GM that about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and apparently they got real pissed.
Yeah, but that's an
because they didn't want to hear it,
right? And that's pathetic because every great GM needs to hear that type of dissenting voice in the room, and that does not bode well. And I don't like hearing that at all. That is gross to me. That being said, the more I thought about it, McDermott had to go. You had what's that? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah,
when the game is on the line in these playoff games, he has given up. His team has averaged 32 points they've given up on defense. 32 points in all of those losses as an average. That's terrible. And they always lose in these last minute situations. You're up by 4 points and you got 4 minutes to go. Why aren't you sending blitzes? Why that is on the coaching staff. And I was tired of seeing it. And it was just, the more I thought about it, I prefer if both were gone. That's not what happened. So now the Bills are stuck with an egotistical coach or GM who's looking for a yes man coach, and that's not going to work. I don't know what they're going to do. I would say if you were holding my feet to the fire, I would say Daboll is likely, but I also think Clint Kubiak, the coordinator for the Seahawks, is also likely because he's young and this would be his first job, and he'd be more, I think, apt to report to a guy like that. I also am not convinced Brandon Beane's going to stay the GM much longer, and I don't think that is he's going to get fired. I mean, he got promoted to this very cushy head of operations thing. I feel like he could go the offseason as the GM and then hand it off to one of the other guys because the Bills have 2 former GMs on the administration staff. The guy from the Texans, Kane, and Terrence Gray, who used to be with the Dolphins, I think it was. So I could easily see him do that if this guy is because he seems incredibly egotistical. Now he's above reproach. Now there's nobody criticizing him because he's not making any moves. He's just the head of the operations type of deal. So I could see that also becoming a thing. Disheartened. I think McDermott was a hell of a guy. He is a hell of a guy. He's going to land on his feet. I could see him end up in Arizona. Hopefully not Cleveland, but just a place where
Arizona would be a really good, really interesting fit for him. Now that you mentioned it, I hadn't thought of it. That's a really good fit.
he talked about wanting to go to a warmer climate in the brief time. So, I mean, that would work, I think, pretty well. He would at least be able to build that team and give it a culture and an identity. He was a great guy, wonderful coach. I do think it was time for a change. One of the things I read too was in the span of NFL history, there's only been 4 teams that have won 6 playoff games in a row, or 6 years in a row with a playoff win. Okay. The other 3, it's Buffalo right now. And the other 3 teams are Cowboys, Niners, and I think it was the Steelers. All 3 of them in that 6-year span won 3 Super Bowls. Bills haven't been to 1.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's a coaching problem. You can't have that much. They have the largest point differential in the last 6 years of any team in NFL history. If you add up all 6 of those last season, not only that, they lead it by about 300 points over number 2. And they haven't even been to a Super Bowl. That's a coaching problem.
Well,
it's not a player problem if you can do that.
I said at the beginning of the season that if he didn't make a run this year, this was going to be it for him.
Yeah.
Like, I just think, and even if it's not fully justified, and like Mark, I thought about it more about, McDermott should have stayed and the GM should have left. Like, I think that's honestly what should have happened. But I also think there's a potential of just fatigue from the players of like, we've had this same message for this many years and we never get past this one hump. Like, even in the players' minds, they got to be thinking maybe this guy just isn't the guy.
And the players love him. He's a wonderful player coach. He is a great guy. But he gives a lot of players 3rd and 4th and 5th chances. So of course they're going to like him. It's because he's given them work. He's given them a job. You're telling me like guys like Jordan Phillips and Dane Jackson and Jordan Poyer, these guys wouldn't be in the NFL if it weren't for McDermott giving them spots in the Bills. So they're going to support the guy. And like I said, he's a wonderful person. He really is awesome. Did so much shit with charities and was just, but you get to the point and it just keeps happening every single year. And you look in the past of the NFL, you look at Gruden taking over in Tampa Bay and then winning a Super Bowl. And you look at, Kubiak, and you look at, John Fox getting fired and then being replaced. Like, there is precedence for getting rid of a coach because when you're that close and getting somebody new in there with a different message and it pushes you over the edge. So I understand. I felt like it had to be done. I did feel like the Bills completely botched the way they did this, though. It was cold for a guy who spent so much time in Buffalo and did so much work for the team. It was insensitive. They finally got a video and a thank you message out today, 30 hours after they fired him. Steelers had that shit ready immediately, when they got rid of Tomlin. So I don't know. I just feel like the Bills completely PR nightmared this whole thing. And
the typo in the message.
The typo, right? In the admiral instead of admirable. I know they wanted to get it out fast, but like also they kept it up. So fucking take it down and then replace it. Like, what's wrong with you guys? Like, that's the first thing I would have done. They have a press conference tomorrow at 10 with the owner and the GM. Probably get some more there. I'm sure it's going to be very one-sided and very,
They're going to have to answer some tough questions if the media is going to ask them. We'll see.
Hope that I have as a fan, if I have any hopium about this, is that the GM does realize like this. He did botch this season. He didn't get them the tools that they needed, and
he's throwing 4 dudes whose names it could have been us. Like they just wildly awful receiver corps.
When you're throwing to a guy named Shavers, who I've never heard of, and his injury is.
When your name sounds like Madden generated names,
when Shavers' injury is going to affect the game, I've never heard of this guy 3 weeks ago.
He was the number 1 high school recruit, number 1 overall high school recruit like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I mean he played well. Shout out to him. He did some things, but
not anymore. He ain't. But and that's the thing. Going into
he ain't
the
gorgeous no more.
Then I was kid presented, then kid Mo. The Bills are gonna the number 1 priority has got to be get a number 1 receiver, not a good receiver. They need a number 1, and they need a number 1 any way they can get it. Whether that's at this point, it's fuck those picks because I think there is pressure on this team to get there. Like in the first year, like whoever this new coach is going to be, there's no grace period. He's going to have to show that he can get to at least the division round or else it's going to be considered a failure. So I think they're going. I really do think that they will go out and they'll try to get a number one, whether it's AJ Brown, which I don't like. I don't think AJ Brown is not on my high on my list. But there are receivers out there who can be got. So I think they will try.
Hey, do you want Brandon Ayuk for a sack of nickels?
Nope.
Wow, that guy.
You sure?
Yeah. That guy.
It's-
We need a whole podcast on that guy. He needs to go into a food bar.
It's interesting to me that you mentioned the concept that McDermott is a player coach, because I hadn't considered that angle before. And historically, in any of the four major sports, player coaches tend to fade after a certain amount of time because, to your point, they have their guys and they stick with their guys forever. That was ultimately the downfall of Jim Fossil with the Giants. He was a player's guy. Like, he was not a disciplined dude. And that's why, they got rid of him and brought in Tom Coughlin, who was the ultimate disciplined guy at the time.
Yeah, he turned purple when you told him you had a movie to go.
A movie to shoot instead of going to training camp as a rookie. But now they went from one extreme to the other. But it is interesting that McDermott was considered like a player's coach, because that, Bobby Valentine, same problem, player's coach, had his guys out there every day, even when they weren't producing and didn't need to be playing. So it is fascinating that oftentimes guys who are like that will hit a limit in how effective they can be over time.
Yeah. And there's that stat that always goes around that the longer you're with a team and don't win a Super Bowl, the less likely it's going to happen. They
Yes.
might as well call it the Schottenheimer rule.
Yes, absolutely.
It's true. I mean, another great example of a player coach. I mean, people,
Yes.
his team loved him and he had his group, but they went on too long. And at some point, you got to try something new. And the Bills could be incredibly worse because of this. And I would say, if I have to put a percentage on there, I think it's more likely they will be worse because of this.
It's a risky move.
It is a risky move, but there is that other chance that you get pushed over the edge, because it's not, at this point, it's not happening. It was not going to happen with McDermott.
Listen, you've named the two prime examples already, which are always the two I think of when there is a high-performing playoff coach who gets fired. Schottenheimer is the first, and following Schottenheimer, the Chiefs then wandered in the darkness for a long time, and Tony Dungy and the Bucs is the other one, and it paid off for them.
Yeah. I mean, I'd also bring up Andy Reid. McDermott knows, obviously McDermott was on those staffs, but Andy Reid in Philadelphia, as good as he did with that thing, you get to a point where it's not working.
Doesn't work anymore.
Right. And you bring in Chip Kelly, but which worked for 2 years.
Mark, I've tried that. Didn't work.
Don't do that.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help.
Raiders tried that too.
I mentioned the coaches I'd like to see. I think Daboll, because of his relationship with Josh Allen, is something to consider. I like his personality. He's from Buffalo.
Lay anchor bar.
Lay anchor bar.
Lay anchor bar, man. It's gonna be awesome.
So but a lot of that would depend on who his D coordinator is and whether he's even burned some bridges. I think he at least gets an interview.
He's showing up to that first press conference in a Zubaz suit, right?
Yeah,
and going through a table.
But I do, like I was saying earlier, I think Clint Kubiak I think that was the number one choice they had moving forward. I think because of his pedigree, because of how good that offense has been in Seattle and how balanced that offense is in Seattle, I think that's what they want for Buffalo. And I think that he's 37. He's a guy that is going to bring a lot of enthusiasm. He, like I said, offensive people, they're throwing around offensive genius. I think get him with a good passing game coordinator like Davis Webb, and I think you got something. But do they wait it out? Because they can't talk to him until after the Seahawks crush the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So,
My theory is this, and I think I sent this in the text group, that they're going to be an opportunity for them to run the ball, and they're going to. And it's going to put us back on the alternate timeline we would have been in had the past lost that Super Bowl.
Yes.
No,
this is going to invert the timeline.
This is fixing everything.
Yeah,
it is.
It'll fix everything.
So I might actually have to root for the Seahawks just to fix this.
We'll talk about this with the Seahawks, but one of the things that I loved watching them in any game this entire season is when they find something that works, they just do it. And they don't stop doing it. They just keep doing it. And I like that. I've always it's such an undervalued thing for a coach to do. But he's just like, oh, I guess they're not going to stop us here, so let's just keep doing this thing. But
it's like when you figure out in Madden, hey, I'm just going to do this HB dive
slant
play.
pass,
slant. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. It is sad though. I McDermott took the Bills out of the drought era, and I wish it didn't end as messy as it did, and I wish the GM wasn't such a fucking heel.
Those are the 2 points that I thought of immediately after the firing. Number one was Brandon Beane was on Buffalo radio screaming at people who were calling in about how stupid they were, that he had plenty of receivers, and that's not what the Bills needed. And then it turns out, boy, were you wrong, buddy.
Yeah. The only thing I will say about Beane is people I've seen recently are slamming on some of his drafts. I don't think they don't have a lot of Pro Bowlers, but they have a lot of decent players out of his drafts. Like, I mean, Deion Walker this year was picked in the 4th and was just named first team rookie on the NFL. Like, that's the fucking huge guy who had an interception in that game. Let's not gloss over that. We had a fat guy interception.
A lot of pointing to Keon Coleman being a disaster.
And that's a terrible pick. That was a terrible pick. Kair Elam, terrible pick in the first round. You know, and he'll point to himself like Ed Oliver was a good pick. Well, Ed Oliver should have gone the first 4 picks, and he was there at number 9. Like, anyone could have made that pick.
Yes, Ed Oliver was a home run who fell.
Right, and that's the thing. He was considered to be a very high pick, so that shouldn't be on his accomplishment list, because we could have all done that. So, I don't know. I'm anxious to hear this press conference tomorrow. I think once I hear some direction of where they're headed and who they're looking at, I think I will personally feel better about the Bills. But I'm left with a gross feeling the way they handled all this. I just don't like it. But
do you think there's any truth to the rumor that they're interested in Vance Joseph?
I don't know. Boy, I don't know. I don't think they'd go defense again.
I don't think they would either.
No, I think they're. I
think they have to go offense.
Here's a question for you: how much did Josh Allen? Was he involved at all?
Yeah,
you figured they'd have to run it by him, right?
Yeah, that's a complete unknown.
Yeah. I have a theory that he knew that McDermott was on the line, and I think that's why he was so emotional at the end, because I think he felt like I cost the guy a job. I cost the guy his job here by not playing well.
Allen has been traditionally more closely aligned with the GM than he has with McDermott. Like, he's always whenever they go to like Sabres games or events, he's always like hugging the
Bean,
the heel wrestler now who's our GM, because that guy just fucking dropped the leg on Macho Man. So I mean, I don't know.
It is interesting though.
It's so weird to see him go so like fucking evil after.
If you look at the list of things that McDermott like guided this team through, he guided them through a guy dying on the field.
Yes.
And successfully, was shout out to him. And I forget who the other coach was, stopping the game, all that stuff.
Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor.
Zach, good old Zach. He had nothing to do with that. Zach was just like, whatever you want.
He who remains.
Yeah, he is he who remains. The snowstorm when they had to play multiple games in Detroit, that was McDermott. The shooting that happened in Buffalo, McDermott was at the helm.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff that guy like helped them through in pure class,
right? And they just
kind of
brushed it aside, and that's what I hate. It's like the video they put out today was very nice, but it was also 30 hours late. I don't know, like I feel like I could have chat GPT to video in that time and just got it out quick. Like I don't get it.
It almost felt like a fuck you. That whole thing of like
100%. I think
it
Bean's
felt like a fuck you. Like
yeah.
We're promoting this guy. Like we're Bean's getting promoted.
The promotion doesn't. It pissed me off when I first heard it, but I really do think he's moving himself out of the GM spot once this is
for someone
right.
else to...
So it's like he's promoting himself, but he's not really going to be the GM any longer after the draft.
Maybe.
Quickly, Ryan, rip us off an AI video where Nathaniel Hackett says goodbye to Sean McDermott.
Oh my god!
Goodbye, buddy.
Oh man, I got a new partner.
You're unemployed. We have
Sean.
games. Yeah.
I called plays for Aaron Rodgers. I can do it for Josh Allen.
Oh my god!
And Allen, by the way, is going to be very heavily involved in whoever they hire. That's why I can't.
He damn well better be.
Yeah, right. He's gonna, but that's kind of dangerous. Like he's great friend. Dayball was in his wedding. Okay, McDermott wasn't. McDermott was there, but he wasn't in the wedding like Dayball was. So, are you just going to hire your friends? That's nepotism. Like it's just Davis,
This could go sideways. This could go sideways quick.
There is a huge chance. I mean, I would say a greater than normal chance that this goes badly for the Bills, and they deserve it. But at the same time, you got to try. You got to take a chance. What do I always say in the draft? Like, try to get a quarterback, even if it's going to blow up. You have to at least try. So
I think they could have framed this in a better way.
Yeah.
And maybe we wouldn't feel so ooey about it.
Right.
I don't know. And it's so quick. It was so quick. They fired him like within 24 hours of that loss.
Bean and McDermott clearly had issues.
Problems.
Specifically this
sure.
year. Right. Yeah. They had a lot of problems.
But you've been saying it all year, Mark, and the rest of us have not. The rest of us have been like, Bills, clear path. And you've been saying they're not good enough. You've been saying it all year. They are not good enough. They are not good enough.
This is the worst Bills team on paper since probably Allen's rookie year.
Yeah.
Since he had it was fucking Kelvin Benjamin and John Brown he was throwing to.
Ooh.
So, yeah, right. And that's got to change.
John Brown?
They got to find somebody. And like I said, it's going to be they have ways to get money. Money's not going to they can get $50 million under the cap by just restructuring Josh Allen and Deion Dawkins. Real easy to get money to do this.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to find somebody other than AJ Brown, please.
Go
ask want AJ Brown.
find somebody.
What do you think is the percentage chance that Joe Burrow texted Josh Allen and said, "What did you do that I didn't do?"
Yeah, he's not
How
happy.
easy it was for you.
Why?
Listen, golden boy.
Why not me?
I would also think
some of us played for Ed Orgeron.
I would think in this group chat he would also have Zach Taylor in the group chat to
Zach,
read.
what?
Oh no!
Why am I here?
Joe.
By the way, only because we haven't brought it
Joe.
up. Only because we haven't brought it up. Ed Orgeron to the Bills. Let's get weird.
Yes.
Oh, Ron Rivera to the Bills.
Ron
Cajun
Rivera,
wings.
there's
Game on.
listen. Actually, I'd be fine with Ron. I love Ron.
Now Ron's very happy at Cal right now.
Ron
Yeah.
gonna go. I saw the they had like the percentage thing where what is it, Kalashi, the one where you can bet on anything, where that site was. And they had the rankings for who could possibly be the next Bills head coach. And Clint Kubiak was number one. So I do think there's some smoke there because that was the rumor, was that he's the one they've been targeting.
Okay.
So, but he also strikes me as kind of a yes man, although his dad never was. So maybe, I don't know. I'll say the senior
Buffalo
Kubiak.
Bill.
The senior Kubiak was fine until he almost died. What was that all?
Yes.
You remember that? What was
Yes,
that?
yes, he did almost die.
Yeah.
The Shanahan style offense would suit the Bills well, I think, actually.
No.
What we'll have to talk about in the offseason what
Yeah,
they actually
right.
need to do physically to the roster, because I think there's a lot of changes that have to be made. Like
There are.
they need somebody to spell James Cook. They need a receiver.
They need a pass
They need-
rusher.
Somebody to rush the passer that's not Joey Bosa's corpse.
Oh, fucking that guy. Terrible.
Need to get rid of some of these McDermott people that like Poyer and
I think who they bring in as a D coordinator is going to be incredibly interesting.
yeah.
Because
right.
like that's
Are they going to
they're
switch
gonna
the scheme? They might switch
Are
the
they gonna
scheme,
switch-
right?
They're going to need somebody who is aggressive because McDermott wasn't. He rested on his laurels. It was very bend but don't break with him, and I don't think that works. I think you got to go after him. You got to take a chance. So we'll see.
Well, okay. It's not all sunshine and rainbows for the Denver Broncos, the winning team, because Bo Nix shattered his ankle somewhere, sometime, maybe in the game, maybe not in the game. Oh boy, we need to figure out what happened there. But he got injured.
On it.
Let's get McConkey to investigate it.
Detective.
Maybe McConkey hit him with a pipe, like Tanya Harding style.
Yeah, right.
And went in there. Why?
That is weird. I don't know. That's strange.
Didn't think you'd talk about Jeff Galooly on the show today, did you?
Galooly. Yes.
That's a Letterman. That is a Letterman thing. Galooly.
He got injured. We don't know where. He doesn't look like he's hurt during the post-game interview. There's rumors that it might have happened somewhere else. Maybe in the locker room. Allegedly, maybe. But they're covering something up.
Really had a quick cover story though. Like that was real fast.
And to me, doubly weird that he called a second press conference just to announce it.
Right.
Like that feels like an unusual step.
It
Right.
was very odd. Everything about it was odd.
Well, someone's gonna the Broncos aren't gonna re-sign every free agent. Somebody in that locker room is eventually gonna leave and tell that story. So I mean,
Yeah,
we'll find out eventually.
A friend of mine who lives on the West Coast but is a Broncos fan texted me after the news broke and said, after the game, I was excited for the win and went out to dinner. And by the time I looked at the menu, I wasn't hungry anymore.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. That's not an easy injury either. Like that's going to take some time into the offseason to get.
And he's a mobile guy. I mean,
right,
that was
pieces, so.
that was what hurt the Bills. His mobility in the game
absolutely
hurt the Bills on defense. I mean, yeah. All right. Well, the Broncos move on. The Bills are out. McDermott is out. Bo Nix is out. Oh my God.
The NFL is tearing its hair out with the 4 teams that are remaining.
The
and
weirdest
what's happened to them.
We've said this a lot. This is the weirdest NFL season we've had in a long time.
And you would say on its face that the NFL's like, okay, we'll settle for a Patriots-Rams rematch, except that was like the worst Super Bowl in recent memory.
Literally the worst. A waste of time.
And except for Stafford and McVay, but like nobody else who was involved in that game is still playing. And by the way, Stafford didn't play in that game. It was Jared Goff.
Yeah,
right.
It was Goff.
Right.
It was Goff. Yikes. All right. Well, I think we've punished you enough, Mark. So let's move on to where's McDermott? Do we think McDermott's Cardinals or something weird? No pressure.
I think that'd be perfect for him. I think
turn around.
He won't go to Pittsburgh. He won't go to Baltimore because both those guys are kind of like zeroing in on a coach right now.
Yeah.
Like Baltimore's looking at Weaver and Flores.
Seems like the Cardinals have no plan at all.
Nobody. Right. Like I don't think they've interviewed.
I have no idea.
You could have copy and pasted that over the last 25 off seasons.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think the two chances for him are Cleveland and Arizona. And given what he mentioned about, hey, I really like the vacation in like warm weather, and that's where he spends all of his like off season. I think Arizona's and I think that's great for him. I think that'd be wonderful for him.
Come to the UFL, Sean.
Rebuild.
We got room for you. Coach the Renegades.
Yeah. He's too good. All right, let's move on. The Patriots defeated the Texans. Boy, CJ Stroud was awful in this game.
Not good.
Nope.
Was it 5 turnovers in this game? It was bad. It was bad.
But it also didn't give me a lot of faith in what the Patriots can and can't do, because it's not like they got out to a 4-touchdown lead with 5 turnovers. Now, some of that is Houston's defense is maybe the best defense in football. Like Will Anderson's going to win Defensive Player of the Year possibly multiple times by the time his career is
wrecking Drake May in this game.
He is a world breaker.
Yep.
But yeah, Stroud looked really bad.
Awful.
Really bad.
And that's a team, though, had no running game to go. Joe Mixon was supposed to be the starting running back on this team. He never played it down. So
the problem with Stroud's various interceptions is that he kept making the same mistake.
Yes, he did.
Right.
Like, bro, sometimes you just got to eat that sack. Yep. And I understand how that sounds as a sentence when you say it out loud out of context. But like,
clip it out.
Yeah. We don't judge here. We don't judge.
Yeah, sometimes, man, there's no win. Just tuck the ball and go down.
Yeah. And how much of that I think was him trying to play some hero ball because Nico Collins wasn't playing. I think that's some steps he had to make it, which, by the way, fuck the Patriots. Oh, that feels good to say again. Fuck the Patriots and their lucky ass. Like, we don't have to play the Texans with Nico Collins. Now we don't have to play Denver without Bo Nix. Ugh.
Didn't have to play the Bills again.
It turned out the team with the clear path to the Super Bowl was the Patriots.
Yeah, right.
Now they put themselves in that position.
You got to win those games. You got to win those games and move yourself up that ladder.
Let's see how they do next season, though, with a first place schedule. I'm very curious about that. So easy.
Yeah, but they still get to play the Jets twice and the Dolphins twice.
They do. That's true.
Well, I mean, those teams couldn't really be any worse at this point.
Dolphins could be worse.
Dolphins could be a little worse.
Although Dolphins have my fellow Siena alumni coaching them now. So.
Yeah, they do.
That's true. What an interesting hire for them.
For those who are listening who don't know about Siena, it's not a large school by any stretch of the imagination.
No, it's actually whenever they make the NCAA tournament, they're always the answer to a trivia question. It's them and Wake Forest, which is like the 2 teams who've ever made the tournament whose average home attendance is larger than the total enrollment at the school.
Yeah.
for a basketball game.
It is a very
Interesting.
So to have somebody who actually is now an NFL head, I mean, he was there. He graduated in 2001. I'm dating myself here, but that's when I started college.
Yeah.
So there was an overlap. That's kind of cool. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's kind
pretty
of
fun.
And he's actually part of a larger thing that I'll talk about later when we get to game balls.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. What do the Texans do with CJ Stroud? Is this just like, okay, we just move on here and we try to rebuild the offensive line and we pick up his 5th-year option and whatever, like he's
Mac
just
Jones.
he's just under fire at this point, or
Stop trying to pawn off Mac Jones. So
I don't want to pawn him off.
Stroud has not had his second contract, right? He's still on his rookie deal, right?
Yep.
This is a tough call because, like, you got to give him one more year. You can't give up on him. But if he starts,
you don't really lose anything by giving him the 5th-year option,
right?
No.
I mean, it is higher than most because he's a quarterback, but you can still absorb that. But
Right.
You got to see. But this is alarming.
Well, we talked about it in the offseason. They did not do anything on that offensive line. They never repaired the offensive line. Not that it was good last year. It got worse.
They haven't since they were an expansion franchise.
This
has been the knock on them.
Well, no,
forever.
They had Tunsil. They picked him up and they improved their offensive line.
I thought you were going to say that. Well, they drafted Tony Baselli in the expansion draft.
They did.
It never worked out.
He never played down for them, did he?
No, he never did.
Didn't. No.
Never did.
Well,
which was kind of a known thing, but I think they brought him in just in case.
Yeah. There's some funny business there, I'm sure. All right. Well, the Patriots are moving on against the Broncos. We'll break that down in a second. Mr. Mike, the 49ers go against the Seahawks and get a boat raced from the opening kick.
Not shocked. I said flat out, I go, this could be a blowout, and I wouldn't be shocked by it. Seattle's really good. The Niners are just decimated. No Kittle.
Too many injuries.
Literally, I mean, the game was over from the kickoff.
Yeah.
They returned the opening kickoff, and I said, all right, I'm out. Like, I knew I was going to bed by 10 o'clock that night. Like, it was just, there was no way in hell they were coming back from that. Not with the injuries they have on defense, not with hell the injuries they have on offense now. Like, that team just ran out of gas.
Yeah. It's a good way to put it.
I think they overachieved. I think they were
I do too.
And not as good as people thought.
No, because they lost like 3/4 of their skill players.
Yeah,
because of
it's understandable.
That's
what it is.
I
figured it out.
I'm still convinced that this is by far Shanahan's best coaching performance. The fact that he dragged this team to a divisional round game, and fuck the Eagles.
I mean, the Eagles look terrible now, even worse.
That's what I was going to circle to right then. Is now if you're Nick Sirianni and you realize that the team that beat you got smoked in the next round, and the only thing you've done is fire offensive coordinator. Like, I know he just won the Super Bowl 2 years ago, but that didn't stop Philly from shit canning Doug Peterson.
Oh no, that dude's seat is super hot going into next season.
Oh, it's as hot as it can be.
Mm-hmm. And I joked about AJ Brown to Buffalo, but you got to get rid of him to somebody.
Yeah,
because
he doesn't want to be there, and they don't want him.
On the team anymore.
It's pretty clear that neither side like each other.
Yeah, right. But I mean, as much of a dick as AJ Brown is, you still got to replace that production. So perhaps Keon Coleman would interest them.
Yeah, maybe just a 1-for-1. A 1-for-1.
Right, 1-for-1.
Well, the Seahawks. I always said, like, if the Seahawks could ever commit to one running back, that guy is going to go off. And that's what happened in this game. Charbonnet got injured, and Kenneth Walker just went off.
The implications of this, to me, are wider reaching, because what did we talk about last week, right? Like, the Seahawks, if they won this game, we're going to have to do it in spite of Sam Darnold. And with that weird oblique thing, like, that's what they ended up kind of doing. Yeah. But now, if you're Sam Darnold, you played a clean game in the playoffs and got a win.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what does that do for his confidence?
Right.
Is it not to say that he's over the hump, but like sometimes they say it in
basketball
all the time.
Did he clear that hurdle?
I don't know, but they say it in basketball all the time. Sometimes you just need to see one go in. And then all of a sudden you start hitting shots. And,
Well,
not to say that he's going to come out and single-handedly be the reason they beat the Rams or whatever, but like maybe suddenly his mental chemistry is a little different.
The monkey's off his back. The pressure's off.
A little bit,
Yeah.
Maybe.
And
I mean,
let's face-
he had to do basically nothing in that game. When I saw the score and it was like 41, whatever, I was like, how many yards does Darnold have? He had like $120.
Yeah, but that's, and listen,
that's how you win. That's how you win if you're Seattle.
By no means am I comparing Sam Darnold to Tom Brady, but in the 2001 playoffs, that's what the Patriots did.
Right.
They just said the defense will take care of you. Don't do anything you don't know how to do, and learn how to win along the way.
Well, listen, if the Seahawks get by the Rams, we're going to need Sam Darnold to be our Obi-Wan against the Patriots.
Yeah,
So
we are.
He might be our only hope.
But if you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
Wait, who's the Seahawks back? That's who's going to.
I think it's still Charlie Whitehurst, right?
Oh,
He's been the
yeah,
backup
it
for
might still be.
35 years.
Dave
Clipboard
Graham.
Jesus.
It's Jaden Milrow, right? Isn't it? Isn't that their
is it
backup?
Jalen Milrow?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot he was in the league.
Milrow. Pretty sure.
That's right. Ty Simpson was the quarterback at Alabama this year. Seriously,
Yeah.
until 10 seconds ago, if you had asked me where is Jalen Milrow, I still would have said Alabama.
I can't wait till we get to the stripe spiral because when I talk about how shit these quarterbacks are, other than one guy going.
By the way,
this-
if
Oh,
the
boy.
Obi-Wan happens with Sam Darnold, there's nothing I look forward to next football season more than revenge tour Sam Darnold.
Oh, he's coming after everybody.
yeah, revenge tour Sam Darnold. We got revenge tour Baker Mayfield too.
Oh, yeah. Baker he's not happy. He does not like Kevin Stefanski.
Oh, he does not.
He does not like him.
Not a fan.
Let me
Not a
talk about
fan.
that right now. Apparently, Stefanski was. We talked about McDermott being a player coach. Apparently, his players hated him, which I did not get that vibe from him at all.
Did you see, was it Myles Garrett where he makes the face when Stefanski's giving a speech at one of the games and he's like,
Yeah, it was that.
I'll never lie to you. And Garrett's behind him and goes, he makes that eyebrow raise.
Right, like his players really disliked him, and
Yes, they did not like him.
because they had no idea until it was like over.
Can you
All these
imagine
players
you're the
hated him.
coach of the Browns, your players hate you, and you still win Coach of the Year twice?
Yeah, right.
That's
They
pretty
probably,
good.
like,
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the Seahawks are moving on over the 49ers.
Yeah,
The-
Niners just got smoked.
I mean, there was nothing he could do there.
If we can get healthy, he said for the 5th year in a row.
Yeah.
new training staff.
You need
No,
a new
new
training
training
facility. Move it.
Yeah,
another
Move
part
it
of the
indoors. The Rams and the Bears had a game.
They sure
Fun
did.
game. Fun game.
Oh, it was fun. It was fun. Oh man.
Listen,
and it was
there's one principal thing to talk about in this game, which is even in a losing effort, that touchdown throw.
Oh my god.
damn.
That's what Caleb can do.
Jesus.
And
Amazing.
He makes some plays that make you scratch your head, but he can make throws like that. And the only other guy, I think there's only two other guys in the league who can make throws like that. And one of them
Andrew
is Lamar.
Richardson.
One of them
Yeah,
is
maybe.
Lamar. One of them is Lamar, who can't quite make throws like that. And the other one is Josh Allen, who is the only one who is better at making throws like that.
Amazing.
that sequence there. They didn't play that great. Shout out to the Rams
didn't.
defense. The Rams
No.
defense held them to 10 points before
Yeah.
that play.
Honestly, Sean McVay's his game plan on offense was shit in this game. It was terrible.
It was
Played
bad.
right
it was
into
bad.
the Bears' strength. That was a
This
weird.
entire thing was fascinating. The way the
Yeah.
Bears played this, and actually kudos to the broadcast crew for pointing it out.
Yeah.
The corner blitz thing that they could not solve until that last drive. They could not solve a corner blitz.
Mhm.
They kept teasing it, faking it, moving it in, moving it out. Different guys would blitz, but that's consistently putting pressure on that edge. They couldn't solve it. The Rams
Props
could
to
not
Ben
solve
Johnson, man. It's not McVay doesn't get outcoached very easily, and he got outcoached in this game. So
it. Certainly did. Man, alive. But okay, so Caleb Williams, he goes back for that throw. We've all seen it. He goes back for that throw. He does some Caleb Williams he does dumb stuff all the time. He always does dumb stuff. He does this double spin back thing, and I'm like, the game is over.
Yeah.
Like, the game is over. And he throws this fadeaway jumper into the back of the end zone for a touchdown.
wide open, by the way.
How did he get wide open? I have no idea. How did he see him? There's no way he saw him. It was just like a good luck,
Yep.
kind of too late. Like,
They call that the Johnny Manziel.
I was gonna say the old Jake Plummer.
it was nuts.
Even
It
better,
was
even
nuts. It was nuts. And then I thought, like, the week before, if you go back and look at that throw against the Packers, he makes a throw that his legs are not on the ground. He's falling down. He's falling backwards and throws that pass to Odunze with full force layered over the top of everybody. And no legs are planted. 0 legs. He has 0 legs on the ground. He can do that. And I'm like, okay, he's done it. He's officially transcended. He's now a top 10 quarterback. Like,
he's real.
Yeah. He's real. He's getting there. And then they go to overtime, and he makes some throws, and then he runs, and then he gets that first down. He runs for that first down, and I'm like, they're gonna pull this off. They're gonna pull this off. And he didn't celebrate. He just gave the ball to the ref, and I'm like, oh, he is legit locked in. Like Caleb, he's in another world. This is happening right now. And the next like 3 plays, he throws the dumbest interception you can throw.
Caleb, baby.
It was so dumb. I'm like, the entire, like, it was over the second he threw that. And a lot of people are like, DJ Moore gave up on the route. He didn't do the right thing. Like, okay, but they're on the 50-yard line in overtime. They've just completed this insane comeback. It's 2nd and 8. You don't need to throw that ball. You don't need to throw it. You need to gain 11 yards to have a shot at a field goal.
That's a throw 4 years from now he's going to make. You know, where he's just
maybe
that's inexperience right there. Yep. That's what that is.
Just don't throw it. You take a sack. If he got sacked, it would have been a better result.
I gotta wonder if this is our team of regression for next season.
I've heard people say that about the Bears because
they don't have no defensive talent.
Defense, it's
in a 4th place schedule. Okay. You know, it's right. Yeah.
Tough division.
Yeah, the Lions look like they're going to have a rebound year, and I would say the Packers are going to be always in it. They got that 7 seed to get, so you know
they got to have that.
And Juggalo JJ's got another season under his belt.
Right. I never know when Juggalo JJ is going to come out. Yeah. Oh boy.
Not that this is the forum to talk about it, but the Juggalo JJ situation is like you could tell me that you could do a show in the style of 24 about the Vikings trying to figure out what to do with JJ, and I would watch every episode religiously.
Do you think the Vikings GM in hindsight wishes he was like the previous Vikings GM who just forgot to make the pick?
Yeah.
Could be.
Skip over me.
Oh darn.
Oops.
It's like you picked this guy, and then you must have seen something immediately that made you not like him.
They don't like him. They don't like their own guy.
Like, why did you pick him that high if you then got him in your building and hated him? Like, what did you see on tape, or what did you not see on tape?
Yeah.
Did you see all the no throws against Penn State?
Yeah, there's just no tape to look at.
He's probably a dude who interviews real well because he is passionate. I'll give him that.
He's not a dumb kid.
Right.
No.
It's just like when you see him on there, like, oh, you can't do this. Never mind. Oh.
But every once in a while he can. Like you see him run for a first down or zip one in there. You're like, okay.
Ryan, like I know he was hurt this year, but even those moments became less and less as the season went on. He showed all those early, and then it kind of faded. So
I don't know.
I don't see it on him.
The Rams escape here. They escaped this one. They easily should have lost. It was an idiotic interception.
Yeah,
no way that should have been thrown. Take a sack, run for a couple yards, check it down. Anything. You're literally within striking distance of making a field goal to win the game. I don't know why they did that. It was 2nd and 8. It doesn't make any sense to me, but Bears are out. Rams are moving on. Real quick, we have new coaches. We have the Dolphins coach. We talked about that. It's kind of a curious hire. We'll see.
Go Saints.
Packers GM, Packers guy from the front office, and Packers defensive coordinator. So obviously they're tied together.
Yeah,
we'll see. Can't get any worse. Robert Saleh leaves the 49ers and goes to the Titans.
I like it.
Kelly Gregg was he was okay with it. I wouldn't say he was over the moon.
I like it. Saleh's a hell of a coach. We talked about when he got fired. I thought he was a hell of a coach. So
the only thing that makes me feel bad for him is he's going to his 2nd consecutive team where the cupboard is bare.
Yeah,
he's going to have to.
There's not a lot of pressure there.
But he's got the quarterback, And he's
Right.
got the
He's
money.
got the quarterback.
And
So.
his choice of offensive coordinator I think is going to be
huge.
fascinating, right?
It's gonna
Because
be
you
huge.
got to get somebody who
Yeah,
can
and
work.
as
with
we said,
Cam.
Mike McDaniel's going to the San Diego. They might as well be called San Diego at this point. The freaking McConkeys.
I mean, how happy would Killer Greg be is if Robert Saleh picked Cliff Kingsbury to be his offensive
Yeah,
coordinator?
he would like that. He would love that. When I texted him McDaniel, like a picture of McDaniel, and I said, "What about him?" And he said, "I didn't even think that was possible. It's a great idea, McDaniel on my team."
Yeah,
Not to be this time. But Salah, him and his 10 kids, and all gas, no break. And you know what? He's a guy who should never have been on Hard Knocks. If he was not on Hard Knocks, I'd like him more. But after watching him on Hard Knocks, I'm like, I can't take
However,
this guy seriously.
he doesn't have a Joker painting, so he has that.
He does
going for
not
him.
have a Joker painting.
We don't know that he doesn't have a Joker painting.
We don't know that. He has 10
I don't
kids.
think it would be a Heath Ledger Joker painting. I think it would be like Caesar Romero Joker.
A Follow de Louis or whatever that fucking Joker 2. Follow a do or whatever. That's this painting. Falcons get Stefanski, and I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
That's
I know someone who
fine.
does. Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, Baker doesn't like
Also,
it.
all of the Falcons players apparently in a year. So.
Yeah, they might be upset. And the
I
Giants
think
got John.
Falcons fans are also pissed.
They might
I
be.
don't know. Winning cures a lot if they get
Yes,
better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not a bad hire. There could have been way worse. It could have
it's
been
fine.
way
It's
worse.
fine. I mean, I do think he's a good coach. I really had no clue about his
I didn't know
players
that
hating
either.
him as much as I did until this week. So
Falcons are a younger team. Maybe they won't be as, maybe they'll be
Cynical.
more open to it. The Giants got their man. They got John Harbaugh. They got an adult. They got a human coach that's an adult.
there's so many memes out there of like Cam Scatteraboo talking to Harbaugh the first time that are just beautiful. It's just real fun stuff.
Also hilarious, the whole GM and him, like he doesn't report to Joe Schoen, and then they interview him at the press conference. He's like, you're making too much out of this. Joe Schoen, whatever your name is, he will be fired before the calendar year is up.
I don't even think he's gonna be fired. He's just not gonna have any power. He's just gonna be like the guy who takes your ticket.
He's gonna be Jack Tunney.
He'll be the figurehead. Yeah, he'll be the Jack Tunney of the draft, and then he'll be gone, right?
What you did, Jack Tunney, was bogus.
That's my prediction. He'll be gone after the draft. He's there just to get through the draft, and then he's out of there.
I do think he's going to stay. I just don't think he's going to do anything. They're just going to pay him to hang out. So
that seems,
I have
come
that
on.
job?
Harbaugh, but he must have somebody in mind. Come on. All right, real quick, we'll go over the picks. I'm in first. I had the Bills. I had that wrong. I had the Patriots, Seahawks, and Rams correct. Drew, you're in second. You had the Bills and the Texans incorrect, but you had the NFC correct. You had Seahawks and Rams. Mark, you lost all four. Bills, Texans, 49ers, and Bears. Mike, you lost all four as well. Same picks as Mark. So that puts you one game behind Mark. What
are the totals, out of curiosity?
So I'm counting it as 5 points per win, 10 points per win, and then it'll go up. So I have 55 total points. Drew, you have 45 total points. And then it's 25 for Mark and 20 for Mike. So last place still is close. First place still available. If you get these right.
I demand a drive-by if I do get shot.
You're going to get drive-by. Yes. Okay. Please do that. All right. So we got to pick round 3. We've only got 2 games to pick. Patriots and Broncos. Who you got?
Patriots.
Pats.
Patriots. I don't think Jared Stidham can pull it off.
Unless they sign Tom Brady.
The fighting Stidhams.
What a joke.
Oh, Stidham. It's not going to... I mean, Sean Payton saying he has full confidence in Stidham is one of the funniest things.
No one has full confidence in their backup quarterback.
I got a full Stidham right now.
In 3 years.
And if they had a running game, I would say
they
maybe, but they have none.
Harvey is a good, effective player, but he can't carry it every down. He's not an every down guy.
Vulture. He's great inside the 5. But I mean, they're never going to
get
helpful
on my fantasy team for that exact reason.
He's a good player. He's a useful player. He's just not an every down
vulture
back.
Since Ernest Graham.
There you go. All right, so we all pick the Patriots. That's easy. Rams and Seahawks.
Rams. I'm sticking with them.
Okay, I like it.
Tough. This is tough because this is really tough for me. I've been picking the Rams the whole time. But if you can't figure out how to defeat the Bears corner blitz scheme, you're going to have a hell of a time going against the Seahawks defense. And you're on the road. That's really tough. That's really, really tough. I still think I'm going to pick the Rams because I said they're the most complete team, but that's not looking good. Stafford doesn't look great. He looks great when he has to. They couldn't really solve the Bears defense. I don't know. I'm a little nervous, but I'm sticking with the Rams. I'll stick with the Rams. Mr. Mike,
I said at the beginning of this that I thought the Rams were the most complete team in this playoffs.
Yeah.
And are a potential hazard. I'm taking the Seahawks.
Wow, you want that? You want to rewrite the timeline? That's what you want.
It's that I need to make up ground in this competition.
Gonna say he's got to go against the rest of us.
No, I think Seattle. I think that defense is just freaking
really
awesome.
good.
I think the home field advantage. Seattle in an NFC Championship game. Are you kidding me? Holy shit.
How many of those have they lost? Not many.
Yeah. It'd be real tough.
I think
they won a lot of them.
I think Seattle is going to win that game, and I think there's a really good chance they win the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
Oh, man.
If we have Sam Darnold, Super Bowl winning quarterback, that's nuts.
But I want you to think about this though. The NFC West had 3 out of the last 4 final teams in the NFC.
That is true.
Right.
That is true.
Here's the worst part about Seattle potentially winning the Super Bowl.
That I called them stupid for a calendar.
Well, that. No, I'm going to throw this out there without looking it up. Don't think too long about the answer. Name the Seahawks head coach.
Mike McDonald.
Yeah, I was about to say it's Yamo be there.
One of the Doobie Brothers.
The only reason I know that, is because of the Doobie Brothers joke and because
we're
gonna throw a
Sam Darnold.
Who likes Doobie Brothers?
Because we got one of them.
Because we got one of them.
I like the Doobie Brothers. They put on a fine job.
Doobies.
It's another joke that Ryan doesn't get.
Simpsons. I was a repressed Catholic. I didn't see.
Can I borrow a feeling?
It's got your picture on the front.
Take my hand with your glove of love.
Go ahead, Homer. Laugh at me. I thought I was.
I sleep in a racing car bed.
I sleep in a big bed with my wife.
Okay, all right. We have a very big college football game to talk about.
Yes, we do.
We have a very big college football game to talk about.
The straight spiral, the shadowy journey into the greedy world of an amateur game that no longer exists. The word of Drew, a youngish observer on a crusade to champion the cause of the Chaos Agents, the Group of Five, the Vanderbilts, in a world of schools that operate as if above the law.
We've got a national champion.
We do. It is the Indiana Hoosiers.
Wow.
Who would the first-time champion since the 1996 Florida Gators? Any opportunity to get Steve Spurrier in the show?
Danny Werfel.
And the first college football team to go 16-0 in a season since, I think I read this right, 1897 Yale.
Wow.
Amazing.
A lot of implications here at the macro level. Big Ten wins its 3rd straight national championship and its 3rd different team to do it.
That's crazy.
So I think the argument is solidly now that the Big Ten is the best conference in college football is still a sort of open debate because it depends on whether you're talking about how good the top is or how wide the top is, right? Like the SEC still has more good teams than the Big Ten does, but the teams at the top of the Big Ten are real effing good. Kurt Cignetti, maybe the greatest coaching job in college football history over a 2-year span, and not just on the field, but like when he came over from James Madison, there wasn't a particularly large market for his services, And he told Indiana, I will only take this job if you commit to this program. And they decided that they were going to commit to the program and court the boosters. And I think there's a story out there that Cignetti like personally met with Mark Cuban, who is an Indiana guy. And Cuban had famously held out on Indiana. They've been asking him for money for years, and he kept telling them no, because you're not going to do anything with it. And then they hire Cignetti, and they start to come around, and then Cuban becomes a booster, and they get a lot of money. And like Indiana University has a very wealthy user base, but it's more than just the money. It has everything to do with Kurt and his attitude and a team full of players that were one-star guys or less. Guys who followed him from James Madison, everybody who he told them, nobody believes in you or this team except for me, and follow me to the promised land. And so much to my surprise, he's still on this mortal earth. He hasn't ascended to heaven yet, like Percival. But and this team has many parallels to the 2019 LSU team, except for the fact that it's fucking Indiana that just won the national championship. Where the legacy of Bob Knight is suddenly matched by Curt Cignetti, depending on how long he stays there for how many years and what he does from this point forward. The man has the greatest Dwayne Johnson eyebrow impression of anybody in the history of sports. He's a great sideline interview when he's pissed off.
Ooh.
And
all the time.
Yes. As far as the game itself goes, this was an extraordinary game. This was an extraordinary game. I mean, just so many big moments. Miami did exactly what Miami needed to do, which was control the clock. 3 of those 4 defensive linemen are going to be first-round picks, probably.
Yeah.
Bain and Mesidor are the 2 that everybody knows. Bain is head and shoulders above the other 2, but like Mesidor is the real deal. And I can't think of his name right now, but
he's with an A, the last one. Yeah, he's really good too.
Well, and the giant defensive tackle on the inside who could single-handedly beat a double team and tackle a running back in the backfield. Like all of those dudes are going to make NFL money, and the rest of their defense held the highest scoring team in college football to 27 points. Ultimately this came down to a few things, which is Carson Beck made one more mistake than Mendoza did. Credit Cignetti, he picks up 2 4th and 5s in that game. Mm-hmm. Between the block punt and him going for it on 4th and 5 twice, including late in the game when they were coming into the red zone to get the first down to keep the drive alive. And that's when Mendoza ends up going for the quarterback scramble and just fights his way into the end zone because he's a bulldozer. Like that's what it came down to. It really came down to those 3 things: the 2 4th and 5s, the block punt, and Carson Beck making one more mistake than Mendoza did. But Beck played a great game. That freshman wide receiver they have is dynamite.
Wow.
He's that kid should still be in high school. Like he reclassed to come to Miami early. Like he turned 18 like halfway through the season. That's awesome. He is going to be electric, assuming, all other things being equal.
Where they use him, they use him in all kinds of he's in the back, he's very zany. It's crazy how they use him.
Shannon Dawson did a tremendous job over the entirety of the playoffs, not just in this game, putting together an offensive game plan for Miami, a team who, was contrary to what we said about Cristobal a few weeks ago, was doing a little more with a little less, not as pound for pound talented as Indiana, but was able to kind of put it to them by being creative. And I think you saw it. I think you saw it starting in the 3rd quarter with that kid, where he only touched the ball 3 or 4 times in the first half. And then in the 3rd, they just started feeding. And it was they didn't want to wake up tomorrow and having lost this game with their best player having only touched the ball 5 or 6 times. They just kept putting it in his hands and seeing what he could do with it. And the answer was he could do quite a lot. I mean, you saw it in that one big gainer he has on the slant kind of down the middle, where most guys in college football now I think are taught just protect the ball and go down when you determine you can't obtain more yards. And you see him start looking around, wondering if he's got a way out of this thing, or he ultimately just clamps down on it and goes down. He is always looking for another avenue. He's a home run hitter of the highest order.
Some would say he's the Chris Shea of college football, always just looking around, seeing for the next spot.
Yes, absolutely. So in the meantime, you get this great game out of it, which I don't know that anybody, I thought Miami had a puncher's chance in this game, but I thought it was either going to be a close Miami win or a 3.5 touchdown Indiana victory. I don't know that I had this on my bingo card for how this game was going to turn out. For all the teams that Indiana beat this year, I don't know that I would have said it was Miami that was going to give them everything they could handle. but they did it exactly in the ways that we talked about in parallel to the Giants-Patriots Super Bowl, the undefeated Patriots, where it was just they created pressure with 4 guys. They didn't have to send a lot of extra. They didn't have to blitz a lot. They controlled the clock. They made smart decisions. Ultimately, they just made one or two fewer good decisions than Kurt Cignetti did.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, that's what it came down to. And that's how you ended up with a close game that was entertaining right to the finish.
I think Kurt kind of cracked the code a little bit, Drew, with the fact that his players are older. Like that's a significantly more veteran team. Like those guys had played more ball
and more ball together.
That's what I was
in that system.
Right.
Correct. And I think it's something where he developed talent. Like he took dudes and made them good. He took Anthony Mendoza and made him the Heisman winning, national title winning quarterback.
Yeah.
He pulled a Tebow.
Yeah. And
at Indiana.
And you're gonna see more of that in college football. Like Dante Moore decided to go back to school, right? Which was the smartest decision he could.
Well, that's because nobody wants to be a Jet.
But why did he decide to go back to school? He went back to school because he can make a lot of money going back to school and improve his game. If this had been 3 years ago, he would have gone to the draft hell or high water so that he could get paid and not risk injury at the college level.
The amount of players.
There's been a bunch of guys who have recommitted to their schools or entered their portal who in previous years would have gone to the NFL. And this kind of, in a weird backdoor way, this works out for everybody because now the NFL gets more developed players out of the draft. You have more tape on guys. They have more game experience. And maybe, just maybe, they're a little bit more financially savvy than they would have been. But anyway, none of that is relevant to the championship, where the final point is, boy, Mendoza's real. He's on the fast track to be just about the most annoying player in football. You know what I didn't notice until his post-game interview last night, and as soon as I noticed it, it annoyed the shit out of me, is he looks at the camera in the interview.
Mm-hmm.
That is there's something about that drives me absolutely bonkers. Like I said, he's going to be, if the Raiders take him, he's going to be the most ill-fitted Raider ever. Like, say what you will about Derek Carr. Derek Carr wasn't Kenny Stabler or anything, but like Derek Carr had a little bit of edge on him. You know, he wasn't super clean shaven and talking about Jesus. Mendoza's going to be the worst.
He's a big nerd.
Rumors?
He's a football nerd. He is young man's Dabo.
I've seen a few rumors of talks between the Raiders and the Ravens.
That would be fascinating.
For Lamar.
Wow. I would be shocked if that happened. I would be shocked.
I would also be genuinely shocked if that happened.
I'd be shocked, but I don't think I'd be entirely shocked because I think there's also like, look, if you're moving on from Harbaugh, maybe they've seen enough. Maybe they've seen enough from Lamar too.
But the only thing is with Bisciotti's press conference where he was like, I had to talk to Lamar about this. Like, I don't think you say that if you're,
and also listen, if
going on.
If Mendoza were Andrew Luck, if he were Joe Burrow, if he were even what we thought we knew about Trevor Lawrence back then, that's more believable. But he's not that guy. His mechanics aren't perfect. His athleticism's not off the charts. I mean, really, Mendoza's greatest advantage is that he's extraordinarily smart and doesn't make mistakes, and that he is physically willing to put his body on the line.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
Like he's not the fastest. He has good arm talent. He doesn't have elite arm talent. It's like I said, and I said this about him after he won the Heisman Trophy. Like, my fear for him is I feel like we're seeing his ceiling. I don't know how much better he gets from here. And that's not a knock. He could still be one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time. It just means that he might be a little more Matt Leinart than we think.
This year's quarterback class, though, stinks.
Is
outside
awful.
of him. It is real bad.
Especially with, say what you will about Dante Moore. Dante Moore going back to college does not make it better.
No, Ty Simpson is
bad.
Yeah.
The kid from LSU had a shit season.
Right.
Like,
Carson Beck.
Carson Beck is not a guy who's going to go in the first 2 days.
No. It's not good. It's not good.
It is not a good quarterback class.
That's okay.
Somebody's going to have to convince themselves that it is, but it's not.
So only 2/3 of the NFL need quarterbacks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, take away Arch Manning for a second. One of the best quarterback prospects in college football was Sorsby at Cincinnati, who didn't come out. He went into the portal.
Right.
So
and
it's not a great quarterback draft class.
I also want to touch on the fact that obviously they lost this game, but Miami is back, and that's fun.
Yes.
And they're gonna
100%.
they look like they're gonna be back for a while, which is I think that's great for college football.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Cristobal's got that. He's got the ship pointed in the right direction.
Right.
Miami was playing basically a home game here.
Yeah.
And
You wouldn't know it.
You
to
would
look
not
at the
have known
stands.
it,
They
which
should
is
be,
nuts.
They should be embarrassed at how few people
right.
in orange
I thought
and
that was
green found their way
crazy.
into the stands.
Yep.
So many Indiana people were there, way more than Miami. Miami was getting drowned out.
State of Indiana ain't that big.
Where are these people coming from?
Right, yeah.
Front runners? I don't know.
think there's a direct from Bloomington to Coral Gables.
I hope we get more of this, though. I hope we get more teams like this, out of the blue, first-time winners of the national championship. Yeah. I mean, I want to see Iowa State pull this off next year.
Yeah, right.
Don't sleep on the Cyclones, although they just lost their coach, so maybe sleep on the Cyclones.
Yeah, I think they're done. Where did he go? Penn State?
More Midwestern.
Yeah, Matt Campbell.
More Midwestern
Penn
surprise.
State. That's my pick next year. We're going Big Ten again. Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State, the job it didn't seem like anybody wanted until suddenly they come out of it with a new brown suit by getting Matt Campbell away from
Penn
Maine.
State national champion. Mark it down.
They're taking the entirety of Iowa State's team with him to the point where they may not field the team next year.
Yeah, right.
That's okay. Kirk Ferentz has got all the linemen and tight ends and safeties they need. He'll just pass a few off to his buddies.
I love our theory that the NFL won't let him leave. They're like, we need you.
They have a deal with the University of Iowa that he's not allowed to. Yeah, they can't get rid of him.
Right.
Can't stop.
You are literally the Cowboys' entire offensive line. Like, we need you here.
Oh my God.
How many?
We need you building that wall.
How many kids do you have, Kirk, that you would say are corn-fed?
Yeah.
Because we need all of them.
Or brick shit houses. We'll also take that.
Yeah.
Half the tight ends in the NFL are from Iowa.
Yeah.
How many high motor players would you say you have?
All of them.
Yes. We're quick and fast.
Oh man. Wow. What a season.
It was quite a season. We learned a lot, or maybe we didn't. We'll see what happens next year. Only clerical note is the various conferences and committees, we talked about this briefly last week, they have approximately another 4 days to figure out if they're going to try and expand the playoff for next year, which right now looks like it will not happen, that it will stay at 12 for next year.
We got any new teams coming in? Anybody making the jump? Or is this not a year where we have anybody?
No, there is somebody. And for some reason in my head, it's Richmond, but I don't think it is Richmond.
Spiders.
I know that would be awesome, but for some reason, I don't
great.
think it's them. I think there is somebody making the jump, but I'd have to take a look.
I was like
who it
that.
is.
Drew and I had a very long conversation at a U Albany game about this once about like getting the opportunity to go to Division I and how exciting that is for some of these, a lot of it is also based on money, like Kennesaw State.
Yeah,
although they're
they won their conference this year.
They won their conference, right? So
yeah,
cool.
You know who's going Division I?
Xbox. You think you can tell us what to do? Yeah. You think you can tell us what?
We're running out of time, right? I don't know where I was going to fit it in.
Right.
I don't know where I was going to fit it in. All right, it's time for a football foo bar.
You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension not of intelligence and morality, but of stupidity and hubris, a journey into a hellscape whose boundaries are the limits of human depravity. That's a fallen goalpost up ahead. Your next stop, Football Foobar.
Who's going in this week?
Well, before I do this, I just saw a headline here. The Browns are apparently doing second interviews this week with Jesse Minter and Grant Udunski are their finalists.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on.
Those are people.
Who's Grant Udunski?
I don't know. I've never heard of this man.
I have watched football since I was 3. I don't know who that is.
I think he played for Iowa.
Yeah,
he was a tight end.
Udunski,
He's a hot motor.
Played offensive line for the Bears back in '91.
High motor.
Well, speaking of 1991, I've got another short one for you this week, just like I did last time, but it's honestly long overdue. So it's been a rough week for Bills fans. We had that crushing playoff loss and McDermott getting shit canned in like the most unceremonious way. So let's make it even worse for my Bills fans' brethren, by bringing up a fuck up from the Bills' past. Not the famous fuck up. He didn't kill anybody, allegedly kill anybody.
Frank Reich?
A fuck up. No, he didn't. do that. No, he's still a fuck up nonetheless, because today we'll be inducting the hilariously named Billy Joe Hobart into football.
Oh, Billy Joe.
Former Raider.
So to start with Billy Joe, he played for the University of Washington, was a Husky, where he famously led the team to an undefeated 12-0 season and a national championship in 1991. He stepped in as the starter after. Does anyone remember who was the starter?
Hold on.
Mark
Brunell suffered a knee injury and quickly became, at that point, Hobart became known for his talent and his brash, unfiltered personality in all these post-game interviews. He was fun. However, his college career ended in disgrace due to a major NCAA scandal. What happened was in 1992, it was revealed that Hobart had accepted. Now, once again, this is funny because this doesn't matter now, but back then it was a huge deal. He had accepted a $50,000 loan from an acquaintance of a friend. The loan had no collateral and no repayment schedule, which I believe is just a payment at that point. I don't know why you're calling it a loan.
Yeah.
Ask Kawhi Leonard.
Yes. Yeah. Hobart took the money and in one weekend admitted to spending all of it on cars, guns, booze, drugs, stereos, golf club, wild women, and a Super Nintendo. So no, never mind.
Honestly, it sounds like what's happened. That sounds like the shopping list of like you left a 12-year-old home with $1 million check.
And listen, I'm not even against this guy anymore. Like I'm all on board. Could you just imagine he's just surrounded by hookers snorting lines off a Super Mario World box or something?
Yes.
Fantastic. Even funnier, like I said, to spend it all in one weekend, which you definitely want to be part of that friend group when you're out with Billy Joe Hobart. He was indefinitely suspended from Washington and ended his college eligibility. The scandal, by the way, also led to the Pac-10 imposing a 2-year ban on Washington and scholarship reductions, which legendary head coach Don James resigned because of this. And he had been there for a long, long time. Basically ended the Huskies era of dominance in the late 80s and early 90s. Despite the scandal, Herbert was selected in the 3rd round of the NFL draft by the LA Raiders. His professional career spanned 9 seasons. He was primarily a backup, but he did get a couple starts here and there. His most notorious moment in the NFL happened in 1997 with the Buffalo Bills. After he trained the Buffalo, who had just dealt with Jim Kelly retiring the year prior, Hobart was called into a game to replace an injured Todd Collins. There's a name. He struggled significantly during the game, throwing 8 passes out of bounds, 2 interceptions, 5 sacks, and then ran head-on into Thurman Thomas on a handoff. Afterwards, in the post-game interview, he publicly admitted to the media that he had not read his playbook, despite having received it 3 weeks prior. So I don't know how he was fooling Marv in those practices, but now that seems like plenty of time. But, listen, man, you got some levels in F-Zero you got to clear. You can't be spending all your time reading the playbook.
He's got to shoot down Froggy.
Damn right. Anyway, Bills cut him the next day. Managed to bounce around the NFL for a bit before he retired in 2000. He's a radio host now in Washington and is very beloved up there. Apparently, people really dig his shows. He's kind of been welcomed back in by the Husky faithful, and his radio show is very popular. I assume he knows Jake and the Fart Dog. So welcome to Football Foobar, Billy Joe Hobart.
A coworker of mine who is from Kansas City, Kansas. Mm-hmm. We were talking about old quarterbacks once and the brief period in NFL history where there were 2 quarterbacks named Billy Joe at the same time. To which my friend's response was, there is not a single industry on earth, unless your business plan involves noodling for catfish, you could have 2 employees named Billy Joe and it is not a disaster.
They were on the same team. They were on the Saints together.
Right. They were.
Yeah, right. Billy Joe.
I always got him mixed up with Bobby Hebert. I used to.
God, Bobby Hebert had a way better career.
Yeah,
Bobby Hebert went to the Pro Bowl once because 8 people were hurt.
Yeah,
he did.
He's no Neil Lomax, but
Oh man.
Wake up, it's Jake and the Fart Dog. That's right, buddy. Oh, he's armed and gassy this morning. Deep rumbling fart. We are live, 107.3.
When he just gets professional at the end, I love that.
We are live. Jake and the Fart Dog. All right. Sad boy boat. Who goes on the sad boy boat this week, Drew?
I think I hate to do it on the culmination of a great season, but because the boat was previously named for him, I have to put Mario Cristobal back on the sad boy boat.
All right.
He's not the captain this time, but he's on the
he's
boat.
not.
Yeah,
No,
he's
he's
back on it. Mr. Mike, you had your hand raised.
I am putting Mark on the sad boy boat.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good
for
spot.
not just the Bills' loss, but for their what's the phrase I'm looking for? Ham-fisted pin dick way of dealing with this problem afterwards.
Good way to put it.
Wow. All right, Megastar Mark, are you going to put yourself on the sad boy
Yeah,
boat?
man,
Who are you
I'm already
putting
there.
on?
So I'll be there with McDermott because he's got to be pretty sad at all this.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's not. Maybe he's happy. Maybe he's free.
Maybe he's free. I was going to put Carson Beck on the sad boy boat because the only way he could lose the game in the national championship is by underthrowing that pass, and that's exactly what happened there.
Sorry, Mark.
You know who
Mark,
else is on the sad boy boat? The ass man.
Oh, why? Because he almost didn't get played in this episode?
That's correct.
I'm a nice man.
Sorry, Mark, the reason I started laughing was because, and this works entirely too well, because McDermott also doesn't have hair. As soon as we said he's free, I pictured him as the stand-in for Doc Venture at the beginning of season 2,
Yeah, right.
where he's at the rave.
Yeah, right. This is
Oh, my
Star.
God.
Oh, no, what was her name?
Sky.
Sky.
We're going to have a child.
Yeah. Right. Screw the
Oh,
boys.
man. All right, game balls, other side of the coin. Drew?
I mentioned this briefly earlier. Game balls to the Boston College Eagles football program. All in a matter of about a week and a half, Matt Ryan gets named the president of football operations for the Falcons. Jeff Hafley becomes the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And their offensive coordinator, Will Lawing, now the offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears.
Huh.
So strong week for BC football.
Wow. Too bad their regular team is no good.
It's not that good. Thanks, Bill O'Brien.
Thanks, Bill. All right, Mr. Mike, who are you giving a game ball to?
Fernando Mendoza. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
He put his body on the line, played a great game, and led the first 16-0 team since
Yeah.
the post-Civil War era,
Mhm.
and managed to do it in Indiana, and was just a baller. It was a fun game and a fun season to see somebody other than Alabama win it again.
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, Megastar Mark.
Well, much like Drew gave it to a college, I'm going to give it to the Siena Saints. in college
No.
because they finally, as we all were really just hoping, finally have an NFL coach. So,
You knew it was going to happen someday.
yeah, of
Well,
course.
Jeff Hafley
obviously.
gets 2 game balls in a week. Has that ever happened on this show?
A double game ball. I don't know if we have had that.
And also,
No,
why is it him?
Yeah.
I think we've given four of us have given a game ball to one person before. I think we all gave a game or a sad boy boat to one person where it was super obvious, but I don't think we've ever had a tour. So Sienna, shout out to you. I'm gonna give my game ball to Kurt Signetti not for the game, for his halftime diatribe
Oh,
where he
God.
went after the refs during the puff piece halftime. We're walking into the locker room. He's like, "Hold on a minute, I'm gonna bitch about this, and I don't even care. This is ridiculous. These refs gotta figure this shit out." I love this. We need more of this. I've never paid attention to one of those interviews, and I just so happened to. The only other one I remember loving is Mike McDaniel running, trying to beat the cameraman to the back.
Yeah.
And listen, it'll live forever. The Biff do your damn job sideline interview.
And Biff. Everything Biff does.
Everything.
Everything Biff. Everything Biff. All right, it's time for plugs. Bloody Good Music. What do we got?
Again, I've been a lazy sack of crap this week, but Chris reviewed the new Grey Wind album, an album that says it takes its inspiration from My Chemical Romance.
Are you sure it doesn't take its inspiration from... All right. Sorry to interrupt your plug.
You know, Carlos Beltran went into the Hall of Fame.
Oh, we pushed you enough.
Oh, hold up, Drew. We got a Bichette. Aren't you excited about that?
You have a
Honestly,
Bichette.
I'm not
I like
excited
Bichette.
about that.
He's a good
Like,
player.
yes, he's the consolation prize when you didn't get Kyle Tucker, but he's a
Right.
good ball player.
He's a good ball player, and he's not. He's been healthy sort of the last 2 years. That's better than when he started his career.
Sort of.
You just want him to bring back Winkler.
I do. I love Winkler, the shit disturber.
Inertia.
Just
None of this will matter.
198 shit disturber.
Right.
Not a single one of these will matter because the Dodgers will win the World Series again with all
Also
the,
true.
Just gonna buy everybody. All right. TGIF podcast. We're working on one. We got a new one coming. It's about cheating on tests. Cheating on tests is the theme, and there's a lot of those, so I'm sure it'll be fun.
Cheating on tests is cool.
I have yet to pick them out. So we'll be seeing that one
Sounds
soon.
like something DJ Tanner would do.
Ugh.
Stephanie
Or
for
Stephanie.
sure. Maybe not DJ.
Stephanie,
Stephanie,
yeah, right.
definitely cheated on the test. She's stupid. She's the dumb one, right?
Yeah. The best part about the TGIF podcast is watching a Full House episode and Greg getting irrationally angrier and angrier the more he talks about Stephanie.
Yeah.
Real good listen.
Or the best, or like
his parenting advice was to just lock them in the bathroom. Just lock them in there.
Then he also wanted to kick Michelle down into the basement.
Greg, throw down a couple of fish heads. She'll be fine.
Yeah.
Greg does not have children, and it's
Right.
very clear that he does not have children.
Yeah, right. Yes. His solution to annoying kids being like, just lock him in the bathroom.
Him in the bathroom. Or board him up in a wall. Wasn't that
Oh yeah, yes.
Like
yes.
the cask of Amontillado.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wanted to do.
He wanted,
sure it
to,
was Michelle.
he wanted to sheetrock them into the attic at one point.
Great reference by Mike. Didn't think
Yeah.
that'd get on the show today.
Right.
Wow.
Classing this shit up.
We got
You
that
always
in
do.
Xbox. Great.
Yes, as always, we've got Mike and Xbox
and
classing the
the
show up.
My wife recently got a tattoo. Some of you guys have got a tattoo.
Of
Another
Xbox?
one. No, not Xbox. Mark, if that happened,
Of Xbox. Clip that. I want to see a clip of that.
that's amazing.
Of Xbox.
And I have yet to ever think of something I would get. And I think getting back to the cask of Amontillado and X-Pac being in the same episode, I contain multitudes, as does this podcast. And my wife's theory that my tattoo should no, I have to get an X-Pac. Now I have to get an X-Pac tattoo with him with a speech bubble saying I contain multitudes.
Yes.
Yes, I'm all for this.
Yes.
Absolutely. I'll pay for that, Mike.
Yes. Who's getting an ass man tattoo? Someone has to get an ass man tattoo.
We don't do any Road
Ryan
Dogg
Day.
songs. We,
He's got the
right on his chest, right here.
yeah, right in
Yeah,
that
right
circle,
there.
right in that circle.
No, next to the circle.
Boston College's own Ryan Day.
Yeah,
I
right.
am alarmed at how quickly you had that on recall.
Yeah, right. That was up.
What do you mean this? I think that's the first.
You don't have
We put a lot of new media into this show this year. We got a new theme song. We had Lay Bar. We had Lay Bar on Fire. We had Jake and the Fart Dog. We had several McConkeys. This is the first piece of media we put in at the beginning of the year was this. And it still stands
We
the
started
test
this
time.
year off strong. This has been a
Just-
strong
just
year.
Fans at home, if you are listening to this show and not watching it, just know that you're not getting the whole show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do also laugh at when Ohio State lost their playoff game. The first thing we all texted to each other was rest in peace because the nipple ring's coming out.
Coming
The
out.
nipple ring is coming out.
I like on the other
You
show.
always
Yeah,
not keeping that.
the equivalent on the other show is the Paul Feig.
The feed cast.
Feed cast that you constantly bring up. So it's another
like
picture
bringing
you
up-
seem to always have at the ready.
I like bringing up jokes that I'm sure the audience doesn't give a shit about. Paul Feig. I brought it up so much that I got you both Christmas presents of Paul Feig.
Hold on.
Oh, so stupid. What a stupid thing. There it is.
Signed.
Signed picture.
Ooh,
of
director
Feig.
Paul Feig.
Yeah.
And didn't you open it and say, "Ah, fuck, it's Paul Feig"?
That's exactly what I said. Who's Paul Feig?
That's what his wife says before he opens the door.
Ah, fuck, it's Paul Feig.
Yep.
That's what you want when you give someone a gift. Ah, fuck, it's Paul Feig. All right, we gotta go. All right, conference championships next week. Oh man! All right, we'll see you next week. We'll have a Super Bowl. We'll have the Super Bowl picked out, or we'll Jake and the Fart. It'll be a weird show next week. Maybe we'll just go all Jake and the Fart.
Wow, that one for Jake and the Fart Dog on the Weasel.
All right. Peace out. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Deuces.
Off in the distance, around the corner,